So last week I was in a production called The Grid. If you've seen my last video, I was talking about it then, and it ran from Tuesday to Saturday, and so it was 5 nights. I made a matinee on the Saturday as well, so 6 shows altogether, and it was been a really great experience to do. Really enjoyed it. It was good to see how we got good press response. We got 4 stars in the Echo and What's on the Stage, and got really good mentions for a few of the cast there as well, which was really good for them. It's really good to sort of see it really good success for Yep, especially after all the work they've been doing the last 3 years to build it up and to bring it to this and to have it open on the the new Everyman stage and all stuff like this. So yeah, it's really good. It was really fun. It felt like the nights that I was main cast were that went really well, because there's 54 of us all together in the cast, so we had to do it where basically my group and then half a Thursday group, and then we had the first 3 nights, and then the rest of Thursday group, and then the Monday group had the main parts for the last 3 performances. So we all got a chance to also have main parts, and it was really good. And I preferred being on the first 3 shows because obviously we had opening night and then we had press night, and it felt like for me on the 3rd night went really well. So the first night went really well, and then the press night, it was really good. We got a really good audience response. They were clapping from it, and they were it felt really good. I was like, because there's basically 3 scenes to each storyline, but I was only in the last 2 scenes, and so after the 3rd scene I go down. You have to go, because the side I go off, you have to go under the stage to be able to get the other side to where we have to wait afterwards and stuff. And so yeah, I was going under the stage because I leave just a little bit before the scene ends, and I was under the stage and I can hear, I was like, and then the clapping came. I was like, yes, we did it, and that felt really good. And then on the Thursday, because obviously it was the last one, I felt like I really had to go for it, and I really did, and we got another really sort of great response as well from that, and that felt like a really great performance. And it was really good that I got really good feedback from people, got really good response. I had my parents who came and they really enjoyed it and liked it, and my friends and everyone in the cast, all sort of like really. It's really supportive of each other, and it's really good that I got to be able to know more people from the other groups, and I've got to sort of have this experience with all these sort of really great and talented people, really. And it was good how sort of with because Kieran, who plays the other character in my scenes, he got mentioned in the press, and really deservedly. He got this sort of really congratulations that he deserves with it, because he put a lot into it and he really went for it, and it was really good. And so it was also good sort of how I got really good response from the directors, and they said I really pulled it out compared to sort of the rehearsals. I really sort of impressed them really, and that was really good to have. And on the Wednesday of the press night, after sort of the 3rd scene, I'd gone into this little green room that we have, and everyone was people listening with like the intercom that we got in there, and they gave me a little bit of a clap, and that was quite sort of really nice for them to do that, and we sort of really appreciated it. So yeah, I think it went really well, and it's been a really good experience to get it kind of professional, because even though we're not paid for this or anything, because we pay for this kind of course, in a sense we pay for sessions basically, but it's sort of really done professional. We had also a week of doing tech, and we had proper sort of like you were called when you were needed basically to go on stage, so you weren't like waiting on the sides and stuff like this. And it went really well, and it felt really good. In the last 3 shows went really well. I think the way the show worked, in a sense, because The Grid, it was about basically the future technology, and saying like, if in like 20 years, what if there was an implant you could have in your brain where you would have the internet in your head basically, and you would live life like that. And so the first half was my group giving a TED talk first of all, sort of giving a sort of a presentation about what the grid would be like and how it would work and all stuff like this. Which always, it felt like there was like little slip ups I did in the first few nights of that, but on the Thursday night it went really well, so I was really happy about that. And then after that, there's like whole bits with the other groups where we do like establishing of the grid and showing how it works and how sort of really happy everyone is about all this and the greatness that it can do. But then it does turn into showing also what the darkness it comes with it as well and stuff like that. And then we start the storylines, then the separate storylines of whoever's playing the main cast that night and stuff. So there's quite a few storylines with that, and there's one, there's like one where it's like there's three of them, and one of them ends up feeling left out because the other two are getting quite close, and then there's like another sort of a few pair ones. There's one where it's just this guy and a girl just sort of sitting around trying to just entertain themselves basically, and then so the one that I was in was about a guy who Kieran plays, who basically, to stave off boredom, ends up playing all these different characters. So he mimics his family, he does all these sort of different things, and then I just come along and I'm like, what's going on? And I kind of join in and we become friends, and then I end up going back on the grid and leaving him, and I become part of his sort of characters that he plays and all stuff like this. So it's really good, and it's sort of really powerful last scene that we really go for, because in the third scene, because in the second one we have quite a lot of fun with it because it's awkward between us first, and then I come into the game and I show that I can be part of this game world that he has, and we sort of really go out on a high with that. And then so in the third one it goes from being quite funny at the start to then going quite serious, because we find out he's never been able to play his dad because his dad left him and his mum and his sister, and it goes sort of, I end up playing the dad and I'm like, you have to say what you need to say because you never sort out all the stuff that you've got in your head. And so he does, and he really, Kieran does such a good job in the speech because he really goes for it, and every night there was a great response to it, and there was, you could hear a pin drop basically in the audience. So really, it was a really good storyline to be part of, especially because in the devising process came from like when we were asked to do suggestions for storylines, Kieran came up with that with some others, and then I came on board with that and sort of to add my character in, and we developed that. So it was really good to be part of developing that and then performing that actually on the stage and bringing it to life really, which was really good, and sort of good also to be part of having it performing on the new Everyman stage and all the stuff like this. And yes, so it's sort of really good. And then and then sort of obviously the rest of because on the Saturday there was a really good energy, even though like it was it was a long day, matinee and an evening performance. There was really good energy with people, and everyone was sort of really hyped, and everyone was sort of really having a fun time. And then afterwards, after the final show, we had presents for the directors and the production team, and we gave people we had like a little sort of mini party in the theatre space, and we had some toasts, and because there's this bit in the physical bit that we do in the first act where it's a very sort of choreographed bit that we do to this music. Well, we called it Justice, but it's actually the artist that's called that. But we used to call it Justice, and we would do that, and it'd be something that we would always do, loads of times. And it's just like sort of a funny thing of just to start off this little party that we were going to have in the space. They put that on, and so everyone went into their positions for it, and we walked out, and we did it sort of really dancing, sort of really fun. So that's really good to that, and we had a really good time there. And they gave us pizzas, and there's a little after party afterwards at someone's house. So it's been a really great experience, and I'm really glad that I've been a part of it. And I'm just like to say, obviously, well done to everyone involved, and we smashed it, and we did it so well. So yeah, I'm gonna sort of really proud of it, and also gonna miss it a lot.